So now I'm going to ask some of the seniors to come forward, if they would. And they're going to tell a little bit about the things that they'll be doing. Yes, no? Okay. So we can all just kind of stand here. And first one up.
I'm Maddie Jones, and I'm going to University of Arizona for nursing.
Hi, I'm Maggie Cross, and I will be going to school at Francis Marion University in South Carolina to play soccer and major in business.
My name's Camden O'Donnell. I'm a senior at Canyon High School, and next year I'm going to be attending the University of Oregon to study business. One thing that has been important to me throughout this in-church experience, or most important, I should say, is my trips to Mexico. They've been really eye-opening to me, and though we give them the gift of a house and a place to live and a shelter, they give us appreciation and just overall joy for what we've done for them, and that itself makes it all worth it, in my opinion, and really kind of makes me reflect on how fortunate we are here. Lastly, I also want to thank every member of this congregation. I want to thank all the leaders of the church and my fellow classmates. Without them, I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't be the person that I am today. And I think for the person that I am, I want to most thank my parents. Without them, I wouldn't be able to do any of the stuff that I am, including go to college next year. So, thank you.
Great job.
Shoot. When I heard that we were doing speeches, I actually wrote a whole speech. Whoops.
Do it.
Yeah. Good morning. My name is Samantha Berger, and I am weird. If you know anything about my family, you'll know that weirdness tends to run through it. Thanks, Dad. For starters, like Lee said, I'm a homeschooler, and because of that, yes, I write whole speeches and think outside of the box. I was also raised at a Renaissance fair, which contributes to my weirdness, and I don't think I really need to explain that one. I was also raised in this church. I grew up in the nursery downstairs. I spent my summers at VBS, and when I was old enough, I participated as a leader. I was shown I could do hard things by going down to Mexico and building houses and feeding the homeless at Mercy House or filling backpacks for kids at Giving Children Hope. It was here that I discovered my love of music. I was in the children's choir and participated in Don's little plays. I'm now a part of the adult choir and the handbell choir. Some of my most powerful memories have to do with music or serving others through this church. Singing with 6,000 other kids at Triennium, giving a homeless mother paper for her child so she can go to school, and being in a cabin with 20-odd high schoolers singing Sweet Caroline at the top of our lungs in a fall retreat. I grew up in a church that had an amazing sense of community. I grew up on that pew with my sisters and Dennis Sepulveda behind me pulling our hair. And as you can see, he can't do that anymore. I grew up with a youth group. I was able to learn about my faith with other amazing students. Going on trips like Triennium and Monterey, and of course, playing sardines in the sanctuary. I've had members of this church inspire me and help me through really hard times, and some of them have even become heroes of mine. We do a lot of things, and we always do them together. Some of the things we do are weird and different and could be considered out of the norm, but that's okay because there's actually a word for that. If you take the norm or ordinary and you add it with out of, or let's say extra, you get the word extraordinary. Now, for what I want to do, as I am graduating this year, I have a couple of ideas, but no matter what I do, whether it's teaching or becoming a youth pastor or going into botany, I will always keep Lisa's wise words in my mind. I will do something. And whatever that something is, I can bet you that it will be extraordinary. And while I'm out there doing that, I encourage you to also do something. Because no matter how big or small it is, it will be different. And therefore, it will be extraordinary. So I would like to thank you. Thank you for contributing to my weirdness.
I'm also weird. I did a speech too. Well, my name is Bobby, first and foremost. As I come up here today, you see a great-looking guy with a unique charm, the eccentric sense of humor. You may think I have it together. I really don't. To be honest, I don't. I really don't. As my mother would say, I'm a hot mess. As my father would say, God help us all. So here's my truth. I really didn't have a typical happy childhood. Many of my younger years, I remember feeling confused, anxious, scared, and lost. I had to watch my biological dad hurt me and my mother. I had so many questions about life. However, the irony of it is, like, I learned right versus wrong. And, like, at a real young age, now, sometimes, that lesson's usually forgotten. So I do some bad things once in a while, so. I know why I have this life situation, but I feel like, in a way, I felt blessed for some reason, because my biggest blessing was that I received my stepfather. I considered that man my father, a father figure. He's the one that raised me to be the person that I am today. Not taking anything away from my mom, but we both agree Dad is a huge blessing. Without his structure, security, twisted sense of humor, his honesty, and his hope for me that I were like where I am today. So I received so many lessons, and I'm still receiving lessons today because, my dad don't play. My dad don't play like that. So, and as I was with him at a young age, he still teaching me lessons. And when he told me when I was going into high school, so many of the lessons that played out was actually played out in many of my experiences. With so many people loving me and people not knowing me that they will love me eventually. They just don't realize it just yet. Come on. I realized just to be myself, just to be who I am, not to be a fake and not to be someone that I'm not, because it's exhausting. And I kind of realized it at a real young age how so many people are just like that, and I couldn't deal with that. So how I am right here is going to be exactly how I am out there. So sometimes, I'm really true, but there's some bad parts. I am impulsive, can be dishonest. Really have no filter. But I am really sensitive, self-confident, and really good-looking and funny. As my mom would say, I'm a blessing from God. As my future goes, I really don't know what's in store for me. I really have huge aspirations, have goals to be successful. As today, I will be attending a community college with the hopes of attending USC in music production. I want to continue to live an honest life and that God intended me to. So as I take the next steps of my life, I must acknowledge my circle of trust, my little brother, Freddie, and my little sister, Sydney, my grandmother, Elisa, may you rest in peace, my mother, who deals with me every day, my father, who says that he doesn't love me, but he does love me deep, 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 deep down. My cousin Sam, my older sister Lucy, and Stacy Ashby, who made me feel comfortable the first time I came to youth group, and Alan Smith for always being that person that makes everyone happy. So thank you.
Thank you, seniors. We do have a really special graduating class this year, so I'm glad you got to see a little bit of that.